What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Ashley, the Amateur Expert, and we are here on the Amateur Expert Live. And today I'm going live with Nat Noise, and she is in the room, so we're going to get her added right now. Just waiting for her to join in.
It worked.
We're here. Yay.
Hi.
How are you?
I am okay. How are you?
I am good, thank you. I'm happy
Good.
that we are doing this today. So we were supposed to go live, I think maybe 3 weeks ago, but
Yes,
then
that's right.
we were having some technical I was having some technical
It's okay.
difficulties
Okay.
and we weren't able to connect. So I'm happy that we're able to connect today.
Yes, ma'am.
So if you could please introduce yourself.
Oh boy, the beloved question, right?
Yes,
So I am
please.
Nathalie Noisette. That is my full name. That's what Nat Noise is short for. And I am a serial entrepreneur. I'm a speaker. I also call myself a resource liaison. Like, I don't like the name business coach, but I guess that's what I kind of do. But that's pretty much in a nutshell who I am. It's what I do, not who I am, but that's what I do. I am serial entrepreneur. I have several businesses, and I speak to people like yourself, people like your audience, people like my audience, or platforms that are called to me to share my wealth of knowledge, pretty much. Yeah.
Fantastic. So tell me this, when you were a child, what did you want to be? What did you think that your career path would look like?
I thought I was going to be an authoress. I thought I was going to write books.
Oh, an author. Okay.
Yeah, that's
and
what
what
I thought.
Prompted that?
Well, okay, so I was raised in a West Indian household, and I don't know if that's like you're familiar with the background at all, but feelings were not encouraged or shared. That's not like the thing. So as far as like getting these feelings out and everything, I found myself writing to express myself. Okay. So I was like, this is fun. This is good. This feels good. I'm going to keep doing this. I remember when I'm old enough to remember when the internet first appeared, and like we first got a computer and it had publisher on it. My dad would find all these articles that I had like written in a newsletter, and he's like, Nathalie, what is this? And I'm like, I just wanted to write my feelings.
I used to love Publisher. Oh my gosh.
So good. It really was, though. So that's who I thought I was. That's who I thought I was meant to be in reference to what I do. But my parents discouraged that. They're like, no, we need something practical.
Right.
So yeah.
I mean, and I can understand a parent saying that, but yeah. So tell me, what was your idea of success at that time? Like, what did a successful author look like? Or, what were you able to connect the dots?
No, I had no clue. All I know is that it felt good and it felt right for me to be writing. You know what I mean? For me to have this outlet, this experience where I could put these things on paper, make them tangible. But as far as what I thought I was going to be doing, I had no clue. That's what you want to do. That's what's fun. That's what, you like as a kid. Right. But, and then you tell your parents that this is what you want to do, and they look at you like, no, that's not okay. So for me, luckily, right, I had my grandparents who kind of counteracted that by saying, you know what, we believe that doesn't matter what you decide to do, right? If you decide that you want to be an author, go ahead, do that. Make sure you're the best at it, though. Like whatever. This is why we came to America. This is what the dream was. We believe that if you put your mind to it, you're disciplined, you work hard. It doesn't matter if you want to be a janitor, you're going to be the best janitor in the world. And that's what that comes down to. So I had my grandparents who were like, on one end, they're like, do whatever you want to do. And my parents on the other end who was just like, you're going to be a nurse. And that's what we got lined up for you, sis. So figure it out and get them sciences together, and there you go.
So did you find yourself going down that path?
No, okay. I revolted. So I'm a rebel by like heart, true to heart rebel. And my mom hates it to this day. Like, she can't stand it. Like, she still wants to be like, oh, just do this, do that. She'll move from like control to suggestion. But I'm like, no, I'm not doing this. I have to pay the consequence. So I have to be okay with the decision, right? So when it was time for me to decide, okay, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. What am I doing? I was like, I'm going to study psych. I'm going to study human behavior. And it's always intrigued me. I've always been trying to adjust and adapt my own behavior. People come to me about choices that they need to make, which is a behavior, essentially, right? Long-term changes, long-term, sticking to something, being successful as far as accomplishing a goal. I've always been trying to do that in my own life. I watch my parents try to do that in their own lives. And I'm like, this is one thing that permeates the entire world. Why not try to study behavior, right? And then I told my mom that, and she was like, no, you're not. And I'm not paying for school. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Well, I mean, that sort of changes things, right?
Right. So they were not with it. They were not interested at all. They were like, no, we're not paying for this. We're not interested in this. Only, right, because life always comes full circle, only for me to be like my mom's pseudo therapist later in life, right? But but she was not with it. So I was like, I'm gonna do it anyway. And it worked out.
Oh, okay.
Right. So I went to school. I became a therapist, I'm not licensed just yet. So technically I can only work as like a counselor. But that ended up being the sole base of all my businesses. People, right? I'm in the service business. I have to understand people. I have to know what makes them tick. I have to know what they're going to respond to. I have to know how to work with them. So it kind of worked out for me, right? But they were not interested at all.
And so how did you find yourself in entrepreneurship?
Okay, so back to my grandparents, right? That they, God bless their souls. They were entrepreneurs back in their country. I didn't know this until maybe like a year ago, right?
Oh, wow.
But they were kind of priming me in a way, and I didn't know it. It was unbeknownst to me, but I really had no clue. And they were priming me by like telling me, you, one, do your best at everything you do, right? But what you really need to focus on is who you are. And that's, I'm going to answer your question, I promise. But this is a really important piece. Who you are is way more important than what you'll ever do, right? So and the reason why I say that is because the foundation of entrepreneurship is really understanding who you are. That's who I am, what I'm going through, how I respond to life, how I show up. All those things are really what's important, right? So when I actually stepped into entrepreneurship, every business, literally, that I've ever started, ever been involved in, have stemmed from problems that I've had that I've solved. Granted, I had to know who I am, what I'm going through, if I have the discipline, if I have the tenacity, if I have the fortitude, if I have the strength, if I have the skills to solve these problems.
Right.
And then when I'm in the throes of these problems, how am I going to react to life? How am I going to respond to life?
That's so true.
Who am I?
Right.
So literally I had a brand called The Fit. Well, I still have it. It's just we're not doing anything with it right now, to be honest with you. But The Fit is In, which was my journey through like weight loss and all that good stuff, right? Had a weight problem still kind of do, have a weight problem my whole life, and solved that problem, turned it into a profit. You understand? Like credit conversion, had a problem, solved it, solution, and I'm turning a profit for it. The home care agency, before my dad passed, we had a hard time finding someone that would take care of him the way we would, Right. So within every single thread of our business, we're like, you know what? We want it to be family. That's the thing. They need to feel like they're family. Like even a client called me yesterday. She's like, Nathalie, this is between me and you. This is not between me and Commons Care. And I'm like, good. I'm glad you feel like you can come to me with this. You know what I mean? So family, like that sense of belonging, she knows I have her back. That's something that I needed to be in the business when we created it. And then even more in the sense of family, I wanted to make sure that everybody in my family is employable, like having a job when we were to create this business, right? So we were very intentional about that. So entrepreneurship, in essence, really to the core of it is solving a problem for a profit. But knowing who you are, where you are in life is really important, because if you can identify what those problems are, really dedicate yourself to solving them, I guarantee you're not the only one in the world going through this problem. Someone else has this problem too. Yeah.
That's so true. So, what is your idea of success today?
Success for me today is really operating in my highest potential. Yeah. If I say I want to be a high earner, what does that look like? And can I stretch myself enough to align myself with what that will require, right? Because I was just talking to someone about this the other day, and I was like, you know what? We get caught up in being jealous of other people's success, right? Other people's things, other people's place in life, position. And if you are really real with yourself, right? Would you be willing to make those sacrifices that that person made to be in that place?
Listen, when Beyonce did the homecoming video and she said, I ate air for 8 weeks to do this performance, I was like, I know I'm not there.
Yeah. I'm just going to say
so that is a very good point. And I think that a lot of people don't really think about that.
Right.
The level of sacrifice, the level of dedication that it takes to become the people that they're idolizing. And it's not that it's something that's not attainable. It's just you have to be really willing to, as Sarah Jakes Roberts said, put skin in the game.
That's it. And when I say skin, I mean like you got to peel all those layers back. Like that's a real thing, Ashley. Let me tell you. Okay, so here's a really important point, right? And I want whoever's watching, whoever's listening to really, really let this sink in, okay? When you don't know who you are and you don't know how you respond to life or how you're going to show up for whatever it is, right? It will bleed into your business. Okay, it will definitely bleed into your business. And I'm going to give you a personal example. A couple years ago, I broke up with this guy. Found out he was cheating. Distraught, right? Because, you know, oh my gosh, what was me?
Right, that's
like
betrayal. I understand.
It's betrayal, right? And then on top of that, I remember feeling like, you know what? I'm not good enough. I remember feeling like if this person, because this is just what came up at the time, right?
Yeah.
If this person believed that I was valuable enough, why would he step away? Right? But if I hadn't checked myself in that moment, I would have walked into the most important negotiation of my life the next day, right? And I would have bled all over that meeting. I could have taken that same exact sentiment of, I'm not enough in this moment, and it would have transpired crazy in that meeting. And like, do the research. It's shown that if you walk into a meeting sad or a negotiation sad, you will undercut yourself by 30% if you're on the seller side. Isn't that insane?
That is crazy. So crazy. But it just speaks to the fact that you have to, like you said, really get to know yourself and know what you're worth and know your value. And at the underbelly of it, know that you're worth everything that you're looking to strive and achieve.
Period. Yeah.
That is insane. Well, I'm glad that you were able to snap yourself out of it.
Girl, let me tell you something. I cried all night, okay? I prayed, I cried. I was like, you know what? I meditated. I challenged every single one of those thoughts. I was like, you know what? And I woke up the next day. I was like, well, the 2-hour nap that I did have. And I woke up and I was like, you know what? No. We're going to walk in. We're going to boss bitches.
You've already said some really good tips and motivators, but I wonder if there is something else that you can share. So just to sort of reiterate things that helped you move along the way in your career. Maybe even transitioning from having, a 9-to-5 to your entrepreneurship, or things that have helped you, just any tips or motivators that you use that you can share.
If you're not prepared to be the best at what you do, don't do it. Yeah, like if and preparation looks different for everybody, right? But if you kind of do an assessment and you look and you're like, you know what, I'm not ready to make the sacrifice. I'm not ready to read these books. I'm not ready to stay up all night. I'm not ready to pay for a consultant to, you know, help me close the gap between where I am and where I want to be. If I don't want to do these things, don't go. You're wasting your time and you don't have a lot of it, right? And then another thing I think I would say would be to really do the self-work. Like, people really think money is a mindset, sis. Let me tell you, if you think, this is why a lot of, and I hate this example when people say it, but it really is the best example. But this is why lottery winners lose all their money. Right. Because they're not taught. They don't know how to manage. They don't know how to use a tool. So you thinking that you're gonna come and just gain all the money in the world, but you're not doing the self-work, it's futile. So do the work, do the internal work, do the self-work, do the work. Yeah. I think those are the two things.
I believe that's very important.
Yeah.
So, no, that's good. That's perfect. And so the last question is for you to share a random fact, right? So I am the amateur expert, and I pride myself on knowing a little bit about a lot. Okay. So this could be a, you know, a Snapple fact, or, you know, something that would be able to help me answer a 200-word Jeopardy question. Just anything random or interesting.
Ashley.
Come on, you had the question. You had it. You knew.
I did. You know, I did. I really did, though. And
I mean, it could be another, you know, motivator or something of that, you know, of that nature as well.
You know what? I got you. How you do one thing is how you do everything.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's not, I don't know if that's a fact or not. I don't know if that counts, but I've seen that.
That counts. Okay. It's like my mind just sort of went like this.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, that's been resonating really deeply lately. So I hope
how you do one thing is how you do everything.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Thank you.
That's good. I have to meditate on that, actually.
Yeah,
that's actually really good.
I would love to see what comes up for you.
Wow. Thank you for that.
No problem.
Thank you. That I'm supposed to be wrapping up, but like my mind is like blowing a little bit right now.
Let's talk about it. I don't got nothing but time. Girl, you had an hour. You only used 20 minutes. So let's talk.
Wow.
What's going through your mind right now?
That's I agree. And it's like I'm just thinking of different things in my life that fit into the equation.
Right.
And taking inventory on things that I can see myself doing differently so that it can have that same effect on, you know.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is dope.
Let that sit in your spirit. Yeah.
That is dope. Like, I gotta go write that down. Like, hold on. Nat said.
Well, I didn't say that. I don't even know who said it.
Well, Nat shared with me.
Oh, okay. I just don't want to take the credit for something I didn't.
Yes, no. Nat shared with me on this show. Wow.
Yeah.
That is good.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
No, you're welcome. Anytime.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's perfect. So you briefly hinted at some of your entrepreneurial endeavors. If you could just share them again, and then, you know, how people can find you on social media, and get in contact with you. And I'll also put it in the description below on YouTube, but just so that they can hear it and know what they're looking for.
Okay. So if you're having credit issues, look for Credit Conversion on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. We're everywhere. and the site, creditconversion.org. If you want to get in touch with me personally, I'm pretty interactive on Instagram, I want to believe, right? So
yep.
I am Nat Noise on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Yeah, that's pretty much where people can find me nowadays, on one of those two platforms.
Okay, perfect. Well, Nat, I'm so happy that we were able to connect.
Yes.
I'm happy that that gem is still lingering. So I appreciate that.
No problem.
And yeah, I wish you the best. And
Thank you.
Maybe we'll have you on again in a next quarter and see what else you've got going on and what other gems you can drop.
No problem.
But it was a pleasure meeting you and talking to you.
It was a
And
pleasure.
I look forward to seeing what you've got coming up next.
Thank you, Ashley.
Talk to you soon.
Bye.